Hello, loved ones. This is Matt Stevens, and I hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good, actually. We got the remnants of, Hurricane Helene out there. So it's raining, not storming. I like thunderstorms. Rain's cool too, but, whatever. So, anyway, um, I was kind of doing a little brainstorming, and I journal, of course. Okay. I shouldn't say of course, but I do journal. And I was kind of brainstorming a little bit, and I kind of went down a little thing about distractions, and and not just that, but also belief systems and things like that, and how belief systems can be distractions. You see, I don't think it matters to the powers that be, whoever they are, what you believe, what political affiliation you are, what religion you are, what anything you are, so long as you're something, because that makes it a lot easier to control you, to kind of push your buttons, to know what to say to get you to kind of fall in line. Now, another point about distractions, I guess, is when we feed into these paradigms, when we feed into these belief systems, what we're doing is, first of all, we understand that where attention goes, energy flows. Most people know that. Most people agree with it because it just kind of makes sense. I mean, it really does. Wherever you focus your attention, that's where your energy is going to. And that's what's going to become manifest, I guess. Well, if you have certain beliefs, then let's say on TV, you start watching certain things. Every time you focus your attention on that, you're feeding energy to it. And that's all fine and good. You may be helping someone's cause by feeding attention to it and subsequently energy. But the problem with that is when you do that, you're not focusing any energy on your cause, on what you need to be doing with your life, with what you need to be focusing on to make yourself better. You see, we focus so much, especially right now in this political season, we focus so much on what's going on in the news media. And come on, it's mostly garbage. Really, it is. And it's mostly just designed to sway your opinion one way or another. But I mean, even if it doesn't sway your opinion, it still is getting energy fed to it, which then causes it to grow. And it may not sway your opinion, but it may sway others. But whatever the case, it just feeds energy to it. And what does that do to you? Well, it robs you of your time to feed energy to what you are trying to do with your life. And what any particular politician or Hollywood star or whatever they're doing in their time with their life, that's great. But I'm going to encourage you to stop feeding your energy to them, to their lives. And I'm not saying that we can't help out our fellow man. Of course, help people out when and where you can. But don't steal attention from your own cause, from your own self, to make that happen. Because then, in fact, in a lot of cases, especially when it comes to news and Hollywood or whatever, you're not helping anyone, really. Because let's face it, those people are some of the most self-destructive people there are. And we're just kind of feeding energy to their self-destructive nature. But, whatever. That's a matter of opinion. That doesn't even matter. What does matter is your attention on your cause. Whatever it is you're trying to do with your life. If you're trying to manifest wealth in your life, the last thing you really need to be doing is focusing your attention on someone else's wealth or someone else's cause. I'm not saying that we can't do other things, but like, for example, when I'm at work and I go to lunch, in the room, it's not really a break room, but whatever. where I have my lunch, there's a couple of TVs on. And during this time, the ESPN is on. And they're talking about sports. Okay, great. I like sports. I love basketball and football. And I'm having to start to check myself a little more because I can get, like, especially during March Madness, I can get lost in that. And in recent years I've caught myself. Anyway, so I could be watching a particular show on ESPN at a particular time of day. I'm not going to mention any names, but they're going to be on there talking about how much, like a particular football player, how much this guy's making. He's in contract negotiations, or he's holding out for spring camp or whatever, and this and that, because he wants a new contract. And is he worth $65 million a year or whatever? I mean, and I'm like, I guess. I mean, it just depends. I mean, whatever they decide. I mean, the person who's writing the check and then the guy that, I mean, if they make that agreement, that's fine. What does it matter to me? It doesn't. I don't care. I mean, good for him. If he's worth $65 million a year, okay, that's fine. But my point is, there are so many people, because I can look around, and there's so many people who get in these heated debates and these discussions, and they're so passionate and emotional about it. It's like, well, he's not, his numbers are this or that or whatever, his stats are that, and blah, blah, blah. And they're trying to justify one way or another whether or not this is good or not. And I'm like, whether this guy's worth it, whether he gets it, whatever, it doesn't matter. And these people zero in on this, and they have these deep discussions about it and debates and things. And I'm like, you're feeding your energy to that. And then I think back on my own self. I'm like, it wasn't that long ago I kind of did the same things. Not necessarily about contract negotiations for football players. That's just an example. Something I've noticed recently. But it's like, what does that matter to you if this guy's worth $65 million a year or whatever? It doesn't. And we give so much attention and subsequently energy to these things. And who's suffering for it? Certainly not the people on the TV. You are. So I'm not saying to not have hobbies. I'm not saying you can't enjoy sports. Of course you can. But check yourself a little bit. That's all. I'm working on it myself, because I realize none of that really matters to my life. And if I'm going to advance my cause, if I'm going to do things for myself and make my life better and subsequently for my family, or just whatever, I've got to focus on the things that matter to me. I've got to make myself better in whatever ways it is. And focusing my energy on things that don't matter. I mean, really. I guess my point is, ask yourself, when you really kind of get passionate about something, or you go down a rabbit hole about something, does this really matter to me? Is it going to make me better? I mean, in some cases it may. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, ask yourself that question. That's what I'm starting to do, or I have been doing, I guess. But I've been asking myself, does this matter to me? Is this going to make my life better? Is this going to make Kitty's life better? It's going to make my kids. Kitty's the significant other, by the way. Anyway, the lovely Kitty. For those of you that have listened to the audio podcast, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, loved ones, that's kind of what I got. Let me see. I'm going to look at my little brainstorm I got here. Yeah. Distractions. That's pretty much it. We get distracted and focus our attention on things that, I hate to say it, the things that really don't matter. And I'm not saying we can't do that. I'm just saying maybe not do it so much, and realize there's a lot of things that we focus on that just don't matter. Not when it comes to our lives and getting better and doing things better for ourselves and for the people that we care about. That's all. So anyway, loved ones, if you would, please share this if you feel like there's somebody that in your life that needs to hear it, because I can guarantee you there's a lot of people in that lunchroom or whatever you want to call it that need to hear it. Because they're like, rah, rah, rah. I mean, man, they're getting red in the face. I mean, they get pretty heated about this stuff. So anyway, please share if you don't mind. Please definitely give me a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I am on Substack as Matt Stevens. I write some more of my weirder stuff there, I guess. And the audio podcast is called My Sober Addiction. And it is everywhere you get audio podcasts. Anyway, loved ones, I love you. And I will be back directly.